Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. So today I have some updates on the engine problems I've been having. So for those of you who have not seen, I had some scoring on cylinder number 3 and the Ford decided then that the engine was going to be swapped, so the engine was swapped. And the new engine that came in, I did have similar type of sound, like a flapping or a slapping, I don't know what you want to call it. Also with the new engine. So I got a whole new crate engine, and what was moved over was the manifold, throttle body, etc. So more or less, I got the car back on a Friday after the engine was swapped. I went back to the dealer on Monday and I asked them what the hell is going on, and they took the car in, listened to it with the stethoscope, etc., and they said it's the injectors. And I told them I don't think the injectors will solve this type of issue. Anyhow, the car went back in on yesterday actually, which is a week after that. And they swapped the injectors, and go figure. That didn't help. Of course it didn't. But yesterday also they got a call from the dealer which I originally purchased the car, and they have a customer there that actually has scoring on all 8 cylinders. You heard me right. Scoring on all 8 cylinders. However, they found out that the tapping, flapping, whatever you want to call it, is due to the manifold. So when the connector to the intake manifold runner control, that's a mouthful. However, that controls the intake runners. So how should I say? It's valves that actually adjusts how wide open or how close the runners are, depending on the RPM. If you want to know more, I think Engineering Explained have a great video on that and explains that. However, when that was disconnected, the flapping sound disappeared, because I heard it with my own ears and I was seeing it. I'll try to demonstrate it right now for you. I'm alone, but hopefully we can see if it works or not. So what the dealer will do is actually to order they have ordered a new manifold. So the car will go in hopefully next week, and the manifold will be swapped, because again, as I mentioned before, that was what was carried over from the old engine. So hopefully that will take care of the flapping, slapping noise. However, I still have the typewriter tick, which I didn't have on the previous motor. I will let the car run for some more kilometers and miles, and if it still continues, then then they have to look at that as well. So let's try this. Let me try to disconnect the valve, and we'll see if you can hear it or not. So let's see if you get what I mean. So I will start the car, and you will hear how the engine sounds when I rev it. Then I will disconnect this connector here, which goes to the manifold then, and we will see how the engine will sound when I rev it to the same RPM. So let's try to disconnect the connector or the valve, and we'll see how it will sound. Alright guys, so I don't know if you heard the difference between the two modes, or what do we want to call it. The sound is bouncing off in the garage here, so it might be a bit difficult to hear that. But there was a specific, I don't know if you noticed it, of a specific sound when the connector was still connected. But that more or less 100% disappeared when I disconnected it, the manifold control valve. If you have a similar type of sound on your motor, maybe you can try yourself and give me a comment below if you experience the same thing that I'm doing. However, there is still some sort of a flap tick or whatever you want to call it, but not as pronounced as when the connector is connected then. And also, I don't think that will solve the typewriter tick that I'm having. However, as I mentioned, that I will let the car run for some more kilometers and so on, and then we'll see if we need to cater for that as well. However, with regards to the cylinder scoring being an issue or a generic issue or not, I won't comment that, but it's a bit concerning that people are having it. Myself had it, the fellow Swede I mentioned had it. I had some people commenting on one of my previous videos, some people commenting on the previous videos. Also, I've had scoring, so I don't know how many cars are affected. I mean, in US, what is it, 60, 70,000 cars or Mustang GTs are sold year to date. Hopefully it's just 100, 200 motors that I have this type of issue with scoring, and I don't know if the scoring itself is an issue for how the engine runs, I mean from a power perspective, etc., or longevity of the engine. I don't know. Hopefully again then that it's a small volume of motors that have this issue, and if not, then hopefully it doesn't lead to any major concern, so to speak. But let's see if anything comes up. And also, I mean, not everyone is doing bore scopes on their engines because it's fun, so we won't know how many have actually have scoring on cylinder walls. But I'll leave it at that. Hopefully then when I swap the manifold by next week, I hope by next week this type of issue will be solved with my car at least. I'll get back to you on that with the results, and thumbs up if you like, thumbs down if you don't like, subscribe if you like, don't subscribe if you don't like. Anyhow, thanks for watching me, and leave your comments below, thoughts, anything else. Have a great one. Thanks. Bye.